again to our Excel tutorial on PK Labs. Today, we are going to talk about the Insert tab and the functionalities that we can work with using the Insert tab of the Excel application for data analysis. So the Insert tab in Excel allows users to add various elements to their spreadsheets, such as tables, charts, images, shapes, links, and symbols. It's an essential tool for enhancing data presentation and visual appeal. So this guide breaks down each group in the Insert tab and provides examples for each feature. So we already have the Excel window opened on our screen, and the Insert tab is showing right here. So let's mark that properly. So this is the Excel Insert tab. This is the Excel Insert tab. And when we open the Excel Insert tab, we find different groups. The first group we have here is tables. The next group is illustrations. We have illustrations here. Illustrations. The next add-ins, we have charts, doors, sparklines, filters, links, comments, text, and symbols. Now, all these groups might not be found in all Excel versions, but for the version I'm using, these are the groups that we have under the Insert tab. So let's talk about each group and what it can be used for. So the first item we'll talk about is the Excel Insert tab tables group. The tables group lets you quickly turn a range of data into an Excel table, which enables filtering, sorting, and additional formatting features. So as an example, we are going to create an Excel table using the Insert tab table feature. And so this is actually a table we are copying from one location into Excel. And in this case, I copied this table, which was generated using ChatGPT. So how do I now insert this table into Excel? So go to Insert tab, click on Insert tab, then click on the table in the tables group. A Create Table dialog box will appear as is showing on your screen right now. Make sure to check My Table Has Headers if your table has headers and you want the headers to be unique. Okay, so if your table has headers, you check My Table Has Headers, and then you go okay, right? So this is what we get. And now I have pasted the data that I copied, and it is nicely pasted into Excel exactly the way I want it. Okay, so the data here is now formatted as an Excel table with sorting and filtering option. So these buttons right here give us the options to sort and filter. So sort A to Z, Z to A by color, text filters, and then we can use these to filter our text. Okay. So that is how we can create a table using the insert tab table feature. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to talk about the illustrations group. We've spoken about the tables group. Let's talk about the illustrations group. The illustrations group provides tools to add visual elements like pictures, shapes, icons, and smart art to your worksheet. So first, let's highlight the illustration group. This is the illustration group. And so when we click on the illustration groups, we find all the functionalities associated with it. So we have pictures, shapes, icons, 3D models, smart art, and you can even include screenshots. So to illustrate how pictures are used, let's say you have a picture that you want to insert into Excel. You go to the illustrations group, click on it, the options appear, you click on pictures in the illustrations group, then you can choose to select the picture from your own device or select the picture from online pictures or stock images, whichever one you want to work with. So in this case, let's say we want to use online pictures, right? So after selecting the online picture option, it takes us online. And let's just use the picture of an apple. So you search the picture you're looking for. Okay, I have some nice pictures here. So I select the apple and I have the option. I have the option to insert, right? So we click on insert here. The picture is downloading and we have the picture of the apple that we downloaded in our Excel worksheet. So we can use these adjusters to adjust the image to our taste. And that is how we can insert an image or a picture in Excel. Another thing that you can do with the illustrations group is to insert shapes. So click on shape first. Let's select a cell. So I have a cell here. Click on shapes and say you want to insert a rectangle. You have a rectangle here. And you can draw a rectangle with the selected shape. So assuming it's a circle that you want to insert, illustrations, you go to shape, you click on the circle. This is an oval. So let's use this. And you drag it on your screen to the size you want. That is how you can create shapes using Excel. So you can customize the shape, change the color, change it to black or whatever. And then you can use different effects to format the shape. So shapes can be used for highlighting important data, creating flowcharts, adding graphic elements to your report. All right. Now let's talk about icon. icon, to include an icon or add an icon to your Excel web page, you select icon, and then from the stock images, say we are looking for the icon of YouTube, you can search. This is what they have. You select it if that's what you want, and you can insert an icon like that. So you can format it to your taste. All right. And resize and reposition it as you need it to be. So icons are a great way to visually represent concepts and make data more appealing, right? So let's move on to smart art. How can we use smart art? So you click on smart art to open the smart art graphic gallery, and then you choose a graphic like a process or hierarchy layout and click OK. So maybe you're organizing data that has to do with a process. So as a scientist, probably your paper is on uh, water purification procedure. So you want to include a smart art in your Excel workbook. So you choose the one that fits your tastes, and then you click OK. When you click OK, your smart art appears on your screen as it's showing now. Let's undo that. I want to move the whole thing to a different location so that you can see it more clearly. Yeah. Okay. So I have my flow chart here, and then I can insert text to describe the process that I'm talking about. Okay, so that is how we use smart art. You can use it to also illustrate organizational structures and other things. So smart art is useful for creating visual representations of processes, hierarchies, or relationships in your data. Basically, that's what smart art is useful for. All right. So now that is it with the illustration group. Let's talk now about the add-ins group. Okay, let's talk about add-ins. So before we get there, let's delete everything that we have. All right. And let's talk about add-ins. Add-ins can extend Excel's functionality by adding custom tools and features. So probably you want to include another application that will help improve your data analysis using the Excel. That is where the add-ins come in. So to do that, click on my or get add-ins, right? And then you can browse for a specific add-in that you want to include. So let's say we are picking this and you want to add this app to, you want to link this app to your Excel so that you can work with it using Excel. You can do that. You add and to be added to your add-ins that you can use. So add-ins provide specialized functions or integrations such as data visualization or connections to external databases. All right, that is what the add-ins do. Now let's talk about charts. So we have the charts group. The whole of this area has the charts group. The charts group contains options for creating different types of charts to visually represent data. Okay, so for example, we already have some data in our Excel. This data is actually a data for heavy metal content determination, right? Heavy metal content determination in a soil sample. And then you analyze your data using an ICP-MS. And now you have your data for lead, cadmium, arsenic for each of your samples, sample 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to graphically represent this data that you have here. How can you do that? Okay. First, we'll select the data that we want to represent in a graphical form. All right. So in this case, we want to have a representation of our sample, the metals determined, and then the concentration that was obtained. So first, let me clear this. Okay, so we want to have a representation of the sample ID, the metal, and the concentration. All right. Then we can click on recommended charts. When we click on recommended chart, Excel will suggest the best chart types for the data. All right. So we either use recommended chart or you choose a chart yourself if you're already sure which kind of charts you want to use. But in this case, let's choose recommended charts and see what Excel will suggest for us. All right. So this is what Excel produced. But does this fit our data? So as the data analyst, you would have to assess the chart that has been given to you and its alignment with the sort of information that you want to put across, and adjust the chart accordingly. Okay, and adjust the charts accordingly. All right. So that is how we create charts. Now, if you don't want to use the recommended charts, but you have a chart type that you would like to use, say you want to use a line chart, you can choose the line chart and your data will be represented on the line charts. Okay. Yeah. So that is how charts work. Or that is how you can use the charts group to draw charts as graphical representations of our data. Now, this feature helps beginners to choose the most appropriate chart type without needing extensive knowledge of Excel charts, right? So you don't have too much knowledge of Excel charts. Recommended charts are there to help you out. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about the filters group. That's one, you can look at these functionalities yourself, the 12 functionality. But for the sake of time, let's talk about the filters group. Right. So the filters group is represented here. Right. Filters help you quickly analyze and view subsets of your data. So our table already has filters applied to it. Each and every column has a filter applied. Now the filter comes in two forms, the slicer and then the timeline. So these ones become really useful when you're working with a table or a pivot table. So we have a table right now. So let's select the table that we are working with. Then we choose a field. Good. We choose a field. So here, let's say I want to filter the concentration field. Yes. And then let me go over this part again. So you want to apply a slicer to your table. First, you select your table and the table is selected. You go to insert, we're already there, and then slicer. Good. Now you choose your field. In this case, we are choosing column 3 for concentration. The field is chosen, and then you click on OK. Good. So you use the slicer to filter your table by clicking on its buttons. Okay. So let's say I just want to see data on concentration of 0.6. So with this, I can manipulate the data to really see that. Say I want to see 0.6 and 12.1. I'm holding down the control key right now so that I could select the other options that I want to. So say I'm comparing these values, I can use the slicer to select the options that I want to work, right? So that's it with the slicer. Right. And then the timeline, the filter group also has a part known as timeline. So you select with the timeline, it works best with pivot tables. Right? We've not yet talked about creating pivot tables. So we'll talk more about the timelines when we get to using or analyzing data that is time bound, that includes time. So timelines allows you to filter data, right? Dynamically, providing a time-based view of trends, right? Okay, so that's it with the filter group. Now let's talk about a links group. Links group. So we have the link group here. And what does it do? The links group lets you add clickable hyperlinks to cells and objects, connecting web pages, documents, or email addresses. Okay. So let's say, for instance, I want to connect this web page I have right now to an external web page or an external document. The links group helps me do that. You click on links. I have let's see. Okay. So I have this file known as book one. And I want to link it to this particular book that I'm working with right now. I click on that. Right. Well, there was an error generated or created here. The whole table was selected, so the whole table has been converted into a hyperlink. That is not how it is supposed to be. So let's repeat that step again. Say I want to link that table to my first sample data here. But then I want to create the hyperlink on the sample ID. So I'll click on the sample ID, go to link, right? And then select a document that I want to link. Select a document that I want to link. So let's say practical one. Okay. And then I click OK. And on your screen, you'd see that a hyperlink has been created on this. So when I click on this sample ID, it will lead me to the document that I linked it to. And that is how the links will help us link documents and websites, web pages, email addresses to our Excel data. Okay. All right. Now there is another group, the text. What does the text group do? Let's talk about that now. The text group lets you add text-based elements like text boxes, headers, footers to your worksheet. Okay. So let's go there and see what's in store. So we have text box, header, and footer, word art, signature line, object. All these things are for formatting purposes. Then we have the symbols. So you have a symbol you want to, or an equation, sorry, that you want to include in your data analysis journey. The symbols group has it covered. Okay. So equations are useful for scientific and mathematical spreadsheets requiring advanced formulas. So especially for we or us scientists who use a lot of equations in our work, then this group would be especially useful to us. So the Insert tab in Excel is a powerful tool for creating visually appealing and interactive spreadsheets. By mastering these options, you can add significant functionality and clarity to your data. Practice using each tool to become more comfortable with adding tables, charts, illustrations, and links to your Excel sheet. And I hope that you enjoy doing that. So thanks for watching this video and see you next time. If you liked what you saw, kindly like the video and subscribe for more. Bye.